Yo, what's up guys? This is Felix from Giant Lifestyle. So in this video, I want to share with you guys how I'm going to leverage my 750 credit score to make myself $100,000 in 2018. So just a few things before I get into the video and explain how I'm going to do it. Usually I don't tell people my goals. I like to just kind of, do the work, put my head down and make it happen and then share my results at the end. But, this year, and I think I'm going to make a video right before 2018 rolls around about my goals, what I plan to accomplish, to hold myself accountable and see how that is, because I think, I have achieved a lot of things in the past 3 years by not telling anybody, just showing them when it all panned out and was successful. But I think that, if I put the pressure on myself and I share my goals with you guys, then who knows, it might make me go a little bit harder. Second thing is, my credit score is 750 and I will show my Credit Karma on screen now. But depending on the credit report that you check, whether it's Experian, TransUnion, or Equifax, and depending on where you check the credit at, it will always give you different numbers. So, Credit Karma says I have about 740, 750, and Credit Check Total says I have about, 710, 715. Privacy Guard says something different. So every different reporting base gives you a different number, but anything over 700 is like really hot to lenders. So that's how I'm going to explain how I'm going to take my really good credit score and leverage that to make $100,000 in 2018. And that's just with this stream of income. I'm actually working on some web development stuff. I have a Shopify store, so I have this YouTube channel. So I'm trying to spread myself out across many things, not too many things, but many different platforms, because I learned the hard way with my diabetic test strip wholesale business in 2016 that even if you have one stream of income that's really popping, if it goes down, it can crush you totally. So basically, just a few tips on keeping good credit and getting good credit. I got my first credit card, I think when I was 21 years old. I got it from Wells Fargo, and I think they gave me $1,500 in credit. And then I started getting a few more credit cards. I currently have Chase, Bank of America, Barclay, two Capital One cards, a Wells Fargo, a Bank of America, I think I said that already, and an Amex, and a PayPal credit. So PayPal doesn't report to any credit bureau, so if you do miss a payment, it won't negatively affect you. But I wouldn't suggest missing a payment with them or anybody else, because PayPal, they actually give some really big balances. So if you stay clean with them and you stay on time and good with them, they will reward you massively. So basically what you want to do when you do get credit, you want to, just keep a few of these things in mind. First off, if you ever do get bad credit and you really mess your credit up, if you have the right information, you don't need to hire what the credit companies do. These credit repair companies that you see all over the place fixing your credit for $99 a month, keep in mind that process might take a year, up to a year, if your credit is really bad. So if you have really bad credit and you think, oh, $99 a month and my credit will be good, it could take up to a year for them to fully put that process into action and for them really to fix your credit, depending on how bad it is. You might have a ton of inquiries, you might have a bunch of collections, you might be in crazy debt. But if you have the information and you know what to do, you can do all that yourself. So, just a few things. If you have, say for example, $10,000 in total credit cards, maybe 2,000 from Bank of America, 2,000 from Chase, and 2 to 3,000 among a bunch of different other cards, you want to keep your total usage below or around 30%. I would say 10 to 25% is like perfect, because you don't want to show these credit companies that you're using all this money constantly. You want to show them that you're using it, paying it back, using it, paying it back, because one, they make money on you spending money. But if you're taking, say $10,000 in total credit cards and you're using it for your bills, your living expenses, your daily spending, it's going to look like, wow, this guy doesn't have his finances in check, and I don't want to lend this guy all this money because he's going to spend it on things he doesn't really need, and just not important stuff. They like to lend it for more business stuff, and because they want to make money on giving you money. So if you're just blowing it, it's going to be hard. So basically, keep your usage at 30%. Don't be applying for a bunch of different credit cards. Once your credit is really good, like mine right now, a lot of these other banks are trying to give me credit cards and give me loans. So even though it's tempting, once you have between 4 to 5 to 6 credit cards, don't go applying to every credit card in the game, because it's going to leave what's called a hard inquiry on your credit report. So if I wanted to, I could probably pick up another 5 to 10 credit cards right now by just going to the banks and applying, or going on creditkarma.com and going to my recommendations and picking up credit cards that way. But it leaves a hard inquiry, which cannot be removed. Sometimes it can, depending on the information you have. So, one, keep the usage low. 2, don't be applying for too many credit cards. And 3, never miss payments, because just one missed payment can jack your credit score all the way up. I've had my credit cards in total. I began my credit history in, my student loan began my credit history in 2012, but my first credit card was in 2015. So since then, and then, since building up multiple credit cards with different banks, I've never missed one payment. It's good to memorize your payments or write them down and never miss them. Also, another good thing, if your minimum payment is like $25, try and pay $40 and always pay it before the minimum date. You want to show these credit card companies that you have your finances in check. So how am I going to take my credit cards and leverage it to $100,000? So what I'm going to be doing is, if you've seen my previous videos, you guys know that I'm into business. I've made money in real estate, but the avenue of real estate that I made money in was called wholesaling, where I didn't need any of my own money, any of my own credit, and I was just flipping, basically damaged houses, vacant houses, really messed up houses to end buyers who are rehabbers who go in there, put $50,000, $60,000 of work into them and resell them. And those guys are the guys that are making huge profits. Even though they're taking huge risk, they are, taking huge risk and making huge profits. So how they're doing that is, they're either using hard money, or they're using credit lines, or they're using cash. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking my personal credit and leveraging it to get a business line of credit. So, one thing that I don't have currently, which I actually bought to put on my credit, is called a trade line. What a trade line is, if your credit is new, say you just got a credit card, 2-3 years ago, maybe even 1-2 years ago, these credit companies want to see, these big lenders, these big business lenders want to see that you've had your credit and you've had experience, on-time payments, you've been good with it for 5-10 years. So I bought a trade line that's going to report on my credit report for 2 billing cycles, or it's going to look that, not only have I had my credit for, maybe 2-3 years since that I've actually had it, it's going to make it look like I have had my credit since like 2009. And it's also going to make it look like I've had, $30,000 in total credit cards. So I think right now my total usage across all my cards, not including PayPal, I think is 14,000. I did have one card closed out because, well, that's a long story, but it's not negatively affecting my credit by any means, because my credit is so good with other factors. So, I'm basically buying this trade line, which is an authorized, basically being an authorized user on somebody else's credit card account, and that's going to reflect on my credit card account. And then I'm applying with these business lending companies who are looking off my personal credit to give me business credit lines with my company name. So I have a real estate company that I made back in 2015. I have a bank account. It's 100% legit. And once I get these business credit lines, I predict my first draw of lending from these companies will probably be about 25 to 35 or maybe even 50,000. I know the first draw will be small, but as I pay them back, probably in June, I can get another draw of money from them, and they might lend me up to 50 to 100 to 200,000. What I'm going to be doing is taking that money and, using hard money, which is borrowing more money. And hard money, usually for projects of real estate, you only have to put down, it really ranges anywhere from 5 to 35%. And I'm going to get hard money and then partner with my friends who are already flipping multiple houses a year. So I'm basically going to leverage from the credit cards to the business line of credit to the hard money to be able to flip houses. And my goal for 2018 is to flip 4 houses and acquire 4 rental units. The reason that I think I'll be really successful with this is because one, I'll have the money leverage, and two, I'll have the relationship leverage, meaning I'm not just getting these business line of credit and then going into flipping houses blindly. I'm going into flipping these houses with the relationships of other successful real estate investors and rehabbers. So, just a quick tip for what you guys can do. You guys can, start getting credit cards and start building your credit history of on-time payments, low usage, and not too many inquiries. And then as you do that, you can seek out business lenders and get a business credit card, because that's what I'm getting. I'm getting a business credit card that I'm going to be using just like my personal credit cards, but to, be able to buy property, buy materials, and buy stuff to fix it up, and in the end sell it and make huge profits. In reality, I probably only need to flip maybe 2 to 4 houses out here in New Jersey to make $100,000, because the houses out here in New Jersey are pretty high, anywhere from $100,000 to $300,000. So that's my game plan for 2018. If you guys enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.